We back in Striving for Light Survival, baby, and we unlocked the new character last time. I have so much to tell you guys. As y'all can see from the last video, I've unlocked so many different skills. I've been playing this game a lot over the weekend. My little 5-year-old nephew was sick and had a lot of downtime while he was napping and stuff like that, so just decided to play the game, and it was so much fun unlocking a lot of the skills. If you hover over anything, you see that there's a way to unlock it. Well, unless you've already unlocked it. So, for instance, if we wanted to upgrade or unlock this chicken companion, we would need to have 10 companion skills active. Now, this doesn't mean each one of these has to be active. Like, there's not even 10 of these companion type skills in the game, but on the grid is where you would unlock that. And if you're not familiar with the way I'm speaking, we're gonna get into it. The first thing I need to do is select my build and my starting skills. We have 12 skills that we can select from, and basically I've been enjoying a ton of different variety. What I'm gonna do is, last time I went for melee, and this character is a little bit different. So it's attack speed is low, movement speed is low, area of effect is high, and the max dodge is actually very low. But my melee attacks cast a glaring light lasting 3 seconds, damaging surrounding enemies. Area scales with AoE size, damage scales with projectile damage. So that tells me that going for more projectile damage is going to be good, and I want something that is really good as far as getting projectiles out. So there's a bunch of different things that I'm looking at right now. I'm trying to unlock a few different things here, and getting burning skills and also getting exploding projectiles would both allow me to unlock these. So this one you have to go through a bunch of different levels and unlock it, but I've unlocked a bunch of levels as well. So we're going to just proceed with the cinnamon stars. I think this is a pretty cool sort of skill. Okay, so projectiles return to you, meaning they'll go out and they come back to you, and it seems like a pretty good skill. With that, I think I'm gonna go for a melee weapon, something that's a little bit bigger. Let's go for the scythe here. The scythe looks like a very well, you know, come to think of it, let's do the dagger. The dagger is it's kind of like for critical, right? But the attack speed is higher, and I usually like to go for a lot of attack speed here. As far as the skills that are available, I'm trying to think. If we go with a little bit of well, we going around projectiles, so let's select some projectile here. Projectile skills. Projectile multiplier gives me more projectiles, and let's see, there's one called fragmentation, which is really good. Fragmentation, there it is. Defeated enemies create 4 projectiles in random directions, dealing 10 damage each. And this one right here, scattering projectiles, they scatter into new projectiles when enemies hit. Heck, we can even go with scattering dodge, which throws 2 projectiles if a ranged weapon has projectiles stackable when you dodge. So the rest is going to be random that we can add, unless we want to add some specific ones, like life leech is a pretty good one. We can get poison shots, we can get explosive hits. Which one do we need for this? I think we needed burning. So what we can do is, we needed burning or we needed exploding. So, and that's projectiles. So we have burning hit right here, which isn't it. Scattercast. We need something with burning. That's not it. I don't think I have anything specifically available for burning right now unlocked. So we might have to get something else. But for this, I think we can get exploding. We should have an exploding shot somewhere. Let's see, that swirl, bursting wield, bursting shot. That's an explode. There we go. Okay, so let's choose our map. And we have so many maps that I've already unlocked, and some of them that get really difficult. So for this build, let's try... Should we try a new map? Let's try the Frozen Plains. The winter after the scatter, no one survived in the north. However, It's said that the ice is living. All right. So yeah, I've played around on different difficulties as well. Unlock 8 maps. So we have access to glaring light now without this actual character. So something that I didn't realize when we first started playing the game is, ouch, is that every one of these stars that you don't collect from ones that actually drop add up right here. And when you have 10 uncollected of those fragments or shards, what'll happen is it spawns an epic enemy. So there's 2 different ways to look at that. You get all the experience from that epic enemy, but it makes it harder. So it depends on how you are set up to actually handle the run. You can manipulate that. So first off, we're gonna go for multiple projectiles to get this going, and we want to pay attention to not getting our attack speed too low, because right now if we check stats, our attack speed is already 0.65. It's not the most insane, okay? So what we want to do here is, let's close this, and we want to try to get attack speed as well as just the different amount of projectiles. So this increases projectile range, which would give me projectile speed as well. That's pretty good. We can open that, but I think it has to be connected to something else. Let's go for fragmentation. This changes our damage up. We can actually go for another fragmentation, which is very, very good, but to do that we'd have to get double hit first. Oh no, we can get a max health here. I think going for that would be pretty good, but we need movement speed as well. Let's go with another increased projectile range and another movement, and we've unlocked quite a few different things. Also, I have a lot of information about this that I'll introduce when we get to it, but for the most part, what I've noticed so far is the game does not have any evolution system, but the amount of skills and the amount of different varieties of builds that you can get, plus the number of unlocks that we've been achieving, just going through the different, I'll say the different styles of runs over the bunch of hours that I've played, it's fun. Okay, so we went to over 10 for the uncollected light fragments, and it went to the elite spawn pool. So every time this counts up to 10, which is cumulative, it'll give us an elite spawn. So we'll have an elite that we have to fight next round, which means it'll be harder. We'll get a lot of experience for it, but it's just to say. So right now we probably need to go for projectile damage if possible, but we are number of projectiles, and attack speed would be nice too, but there's a bunch of things that we don't have. This is the first attack speed node that we have access to, and I don't think that we can reach that right now, but we can go for another fragmentation here, which would be ideal, I think. And there's a lot of stuff that opened up now. And sometimes you'll want to change the way paths are laid out, and that's what these things are for, which can be dropped by elites. So some of the times you'll want to farm those. So we did get an extra health, and that's one way of kind of healing too. But we can try our best here to pick up a lot of these shards. Ouch. And not get hit much. Sometimes going for those shards are actually pretty dangerous. But the dagger is actually kind of weak, but the attack speed is good, and that helps me get along with the first waves of enemies with this character. Okay, we did not see the elite that time, but it's still spawned. We're gonna still get it sooner or later. Okay, so we have 2 more skill points here, and I think, let's see, increased shot angle. This is, I didn't know what this was before, but it kind of changes the spread. So if you have 2 projectiles and they separate like at this angle, for instance, if you get one of these, they'll separate at a wider angle. That's the easiest way that I can explain that right now. Let's see, this is glaring light. I already have this, but I don't have enough attack speed right now to really go for it, because as you can see, it really drops attack speed down, but it would make my glaring light skill more powerful. This is critical. This is Clash of Steel, which is a melee. Let's see here. I think I'm gonna go for See, bursting shot would give me the explosions that I was looking for earlier, so we can go for that, and we can go for that. That makes the damage better, and we just got a projectile damage that'll go up too. That'll be nice if we can make it to it without getting too much stuff that we don't want. We do have something that will be able to change a little bit of the sphere grid, or the skill tree, as it were. Going forward, we just got a little bit of a one of the orbs or whatever. It allows you to kind of manipulate the skill tree and change stuff up. We briefly went through it on the last playthrough, but ouch. All right, we need to get a heart or two at some point. Dang, man, this guy moves so slow at first. It's a little bit hard to get used to, but okay. So we have a shard of change. Shard with the power to change an unskilled skill node to a new random skill. So let's say we wanted to go for this attack speed, but we did not want this max health. What we could do is use this shard of change on it to change it to something random and possibly get a better skill that would work with our build. It is a bit random, and it's hard to predict what it's going to be. It could be something worse than the health upgrade. So for now, I think the health upgrade is a good idea, and we're going to just go for that attack speed. Now our attack speed is a little bit higher, so we'll go with that. Right now, we don't seem... damage is not our problem. There's an elite enemy, and we're doing okay with damage. Our biggest deal right here is maneuverability, which is starting to become a bit of a challenge. We have a heart down here that I'm going to go for, and as you can see, we are not capitalizing on really trying to do damage. There was all my XP that I've been waiting for. There's another elite that's going to spawn, but we have to try and get a bunch of these so that we can level up in a decent amount of time. Very close to beating him. There we go. We got another shard, but I'm also very close to death, so we have to be extremely careful with that. All right, so we have 4 points to use now because of all of the kills that we got last time, and glaring light we're still not ready for, so we need to look for an alternative path to this. Now, going for a double hit, I do not want, even though it's a cool skill. It's not real good unless you really focus on melee. So right now we're going to change it out, and we get an increase in attack speed. Very nice. This is also good, this scattering dodge. Increasing melee damage wouldn't be that bad, but I would like something else in its place instead. So I'm going to change that one as well. And we got another attack speed. Then it brings us to increased projectile, and I think we can probably go for something else here. So let's look around to see what's opened up. We could get increased shot angle. Another bursting shot would be better. And that, if we get enough of these, we're going to be able to get that unlock that we were looking for. So we're a little bit more powerful. Some extra projectiles would be nice. Also, some extra hearts would be good, and that's what I'm going to go for here. Gotta be careful. Also need some movement speed so bad, you guys. This guy only starts off with 1 dodge as well, and well, you can stack dodges up with some of the other characters, and it's a little bit easier to maneuver around. But this character brought me through quite a few levels in the game, and there's a bunch of other interesting characters that start out with different stuff too. So, all right, so level up. We have 2 points again. And scattering dodge, we only had 1 dodge right now, so that probably wouldn't be the most ideal. We also have a shard of change. We also have a shard of conjunction, which allows you to change the path up to get to something. And for that, let's say we want a life leech. So increase your life leech from defeated enemies. We can grab this, for instance, and if we wanted to go back this way, we could use one of these shards to unlock it. Right, and it changes up the paths for it. That's not what I want right now, but we're gonna go for more projectiles, or projectile multiplier right here. But for that, we need to get rid of this double hit, so let's do that, and we get a bleeding swirl instead. That is also not ideal, So I think Life Leech would be better to go through than this, because this is going to change our attack speed up, and it's a condition damage type deal for bleed. And that's not where my build is going to go. So let's get increased in projectile range, and next time we'll go for projectile multiplier and scattering projectiles. Also, there's some more Life Leech on the way, which changes how good the skill actually works, or how many things you have to kill before you get a heart. And right off the bat, we're going to go for the heart. Sometimes we get 2 hearts per like level, per area, and that would be nice if it happened now. Because we need it. But we'll try to survive here and do pretty good. Also, if we kill enough enemies, now that we have Life Leech, we'll be able to get we'll be able to heal up. But that's a while away. I think we need 170 enemies or something like that. I think this run's gonna be okay. It's when they start using projectiles that it gets rough, man. It gets really rough. Okay, let's see here. So we were heading down this path. Let's go with these 2. What's my attack speed right now? 1.0. So if that's 20% for projectile multiplier. Man, that changes it bad. But there's a couple of attack speeds on our way here, so that will help. I would really like to bypass this for now, but I can't. Has anything opened up that would just give me attack speed or movement speed again? No, it doesn't look like it. You can actually search for it too, or you can zoom out and it kind of helps you sometimes. But I think right now we're gonna go for this Life Leech. And then we'll go for scattering projectiles after we get some more attack speed, because I don't want this to drop too low, okay? So now we have a few projectiles, and they're returning to me as well. So we're gonna start doing some pretty significant damage. There's another heart here that we want to get. Beautiful. And now I feel a little bit safer than I did before. This dude's just trying to block my path, man. All right, as you notice, we're starting to get a lot of these shards built up on the ground. We don't want to spawn too many elites at one time, because it can get really difficult. But our damage is on point right now. Our health is doing okay. And I think we're going to be good to go, man. We're going to be good to go. Okay, we got 7. That's not terrible. 1 elite at a time is okay. All right, we have 2 more points. Back into attack speed we go. That's scattering dodge. We're not going to get that right now. Let's go here first. And that's 2 attack speed increases. That's good. Let's go to the next wave. Yeah, this is a lot better, man. So the dagger as well is already extremely fast. So when stuff gets close to me, I'm doing some decent damage to it. But we're not quite fast enough. Movement speed would be the most important thing I could think of right now as far as upgrades are concerned. Probably what we need the most. And getting some more of those exploding skills so that we can get that unlock, that would also be good. Alright, also every different level that we unlock, we have different monsters. You'd probably notice that the enemies are a lot different than you saw on the last one. They have a little theme for each one of the levels. And turns out it gets pretty interesting. Some of the enemies are cool looking. Alright, so let's see what we got here. We can do another attack speed, and are we gonna go for a scattering projectiles? Number of projectiles or projectile damage would also be very good. And there's one right here, but it's gonna take us a little bit to get to it, because we would have to go all the way down here. There are some more attack speed increases there though. Let's see, we want to go for bursting shot here. So I think what we'll do is, let's do this and this. Well, we'll go here next, and then what we'll do is we'll unlock the pathway to increase projectiles. That seems pretty good, right? Okay, let's try it. We're on wave 10 now, and we usually get a little bit of a mini boss on wave 10, and this guy is going to be extremely hard to dodge. Starting off, gotta be careful. We got another heart, so that's good. and there's another one on the board too. I think they get left over from the boards before, and they kind of pile up. If you can go through without getting hit much, that didn't happen right there. So I don't think you get anything special for defeating the mini bosses, but I try to do it. Also, I did find out what happens if you beat level 20 without defeating a boss. And it turns out what it does is it just doesn't give you the achievement that might be linked to defeating that boss. So that could be finishing the level and getting to the next map, for instance. But there's different unlocks, and you kind of just have to hover over stuff to kind of figure it out here. All right, so we got bursting shot, and we've got increased projectile damage. This is going to help a lot. Now, getting an extra, getting more projectiles or getting more attack speed is definitely what I'd be looking for here. Another thing that we can do is go for this increased projectile damage here, which is pretty good. We can unlock that pretty easily, I would think, just like this. Very nice, and we'll be able to get that next time. And you can see all of our projectiles and all of the damage and stuff is all displayed right here for you. We can also go to skills, and you can hover over to see what you've already started to get and what the damage is on that stuff. So it gives you a nice little stat screen to go off of. That was the only heart on the level, but I think we just got our life drain to pop. See, because right now, let's see, it doesn't say, I think that's just the difficulty. I don't think there's any way to tell how many enemies that you've killed for the life leech skill. Now you gotta watch it, because these guys are starting to do projectiles, and that's what can mess you up, man, these projectiles. Not that the enemies can't mess you up, but the projectiles can really be, and there's some that have some very aggravating projectile patterns, man. Extremely aggravating. All right, so we missed 15 and we got 1 elite. That's not too bad. All right, now we can get the increased projectile and increased projectile damage. Additional projectiles is also extremely good. Now we're going to start shooting more and more and more as we go, which is really, really good. All right, so projectile angle would be kind of nice here too, because we'd get some going, we'd get our angles a little bit wider. And right now it's a little bit focused, but it would go towards kind of like a shotgun. See how they're kind of grouped up? The angle would increase how far separate they are. I still don't think it's as important as getting more projectiles or more powerful projectiles right now, but if it happens to get in the way, we won't change it with any of the shards or anything. At least that's the plan. Having them return to me is also pretty good too, because they're definitely doing some extra damage by not just going out in one direction and just disappearing. They kind of staying in one place for a second too, like it's like a hover function. Okay, so we have another fragmentation which changes the damage a lot, but this Clash of Steel, we really don't want that. So I think changing that Clash of Steel would be good, and this gives us a shot angle. And like I said before, I wouldn't necessarily go out of my way to get this, but because it's in the way right now, we'll do it. And then fragmentation is going to be next for us. All right, and we've got full hearts. We might lose one on this level. We've got a big elite that's coming. It looked like a flying crab. Ouch. Yeah, I was right. But look at the damage that we're starting to do with fragmentation, man. You could see when it pops every once in a while and stuff just explodes. That's when that fragmentation is hitting. So some of the effects are a bit subtle, but when you start stacking them up and really going for synergies, things start doing crazy amounts of damage and cool effects too. There's also some very interesting skills that you would have, if you've ever played Path of Exile, you'll notice from, like, they have constructs, sort of like totems, that change your shards, that change your projectiles or your melee attacks to structures that you put out that do the same type of thing, you know? So there's a bunch of really cool stuff you can find. All right, so we wanted to get the fragmentation, and we've got one more skill point. Let's see. attack speed would be nice. Scattering projectiles would also be nice. Is there any projectile multipliers here that we can add? You know, I'd really like to go for this attack speed and this down here, but I don't want this. So, oh, actually, we might not need to change this if we can do this. No, we can't. Unfortunately. We can't do that, unfortunately. So yeah, we have to change this out. And that's double hit. That did not change it to what we want. We'll use it again. That changes to increase attack speed, even better. So that's how you really start getting the build going, guys. You start using those shards in a way that will give you just more and more and more synergistic stuff that you're going for. The first playthrough that I had, like I said, very, very inexperienced for the game. My first time around, but now that I have about 11 hours or 12 hours clocked in, it's good, man. It's really, really good. Like I said, I played that 10 hours. That was over the course of 2 days. For me to play just a horde survival game that much in 2 days, especially my nephew was here and he was sick with a cold, poor baby, so he slept a lot. I usually hang out with him and my wife pretty exclusively on the weekends and don't spend much time in the office, you know, playing games or doing anything like that. But because he was sick, I didn't really have much else to do. My wife was watching Christmas movies and I really didn't I really wasn't into that, so I ended up just playing some more, and it was really, really good, man. Okay, so life leech comes from 108 kills with this upgrade, and then it goes to 87 kills. So we're gonna get to where we're gonna be healing pretty good. Now it's a trade-off because sometimes we just want more damage, you know, so damage versus survivability, we have to balance that out pretty good. So we are on level 15 right now, but you can see the fragmentation is starting to really do work on these guys, man. Really do work. We just gotta stay away from stuff, and this is wonderful with the amount of the lack of movement speed, I should say. That almost hit me. The lack of movement speed that we have, being able to do this type of damage right now, it's really good, man. It's really freaking good. All right, anytime that elite wants to die, I'll take it. There we go. All right, we got all that good XP. Still got 30 seconds to go too. Staying at full health here with the amount of hearts that they're giving me is pretty good. We're starting to get some bird enemies. Some of these repeat between levels, but like these are new. These guys right here, this is the first time I ever seen them. They remind me of the granite elementals in Terraria. To be honest, there's a bunch of different themes that they got going here. I don't know what these things are. They evil looking. The birds look like cockatrice. Okay, so we have another attack speed that we can get, which is beautiful. What is this? Exploding projectiles. We definitely want this. Let's link that. Boom, baby. And now, glaring light, meteor blow. We don't really need to go towards glaring light. What we would like to go to, though, is this projectile damage. Can we unlock it? Yes. Let's do that then. So we will... Oh, wait. Whoops. Oh man, I messed up here. I don't really want to not get glaring light, but bruh, 50% attack speed, I don't think it's worth. The damage stack is very good on it though. It is very good on it. I just don't think it's worth going for right now. Let me think about it actually. I'm just gonna think about it here. Let's move around and see what else we can get in other areas. I could go this way and go for another health and then another attack speed. Could go for some crit. I've never really done a crit build yet, but I haven't seen any need to do it, if that makes sense. I just don't know, guys. I just don't know. I think Fine, I'll get the glaring light. I'll get the glaring light. It'll be, I mean, it's the best choice for what I have here. It does do a significant amount of damage. I can't believe I just walked into that, by the way. It does do a significant amount of damage when things get close to me because of my dagger and the glaring light. It also adds just a touch of knockback, which is nice. Like, when things charge at me, sometimes it stalls them just enough for my dagger to hit them before they die. But enemies are getting a bit stronger too. We're on wave 16. So there's only 20 waves before we actually finish the level. You can go to endless mode, which I haven't really done yet, but I've been focusing on unlocks and getting more and more of the maps unlocked so I can access just more characters and stuff, because some of those unlocks are linked to characters. But all in all, it has been a really fun experience. Now, some runs that I've done, especially on higher difficulty levels for areas that I've already completed, they get really gnarly, man. Like, really. Okay, we only got 1 point there, but look at all of what we have access to next. Increased projectile damage, 2 more attack speeds. Yeah, we're gonna be rocking and rolling very soon, man. All right. We haven't even needed to get hearts recently, which is really good. And look how fast we destroyed that elite. we getting to where it's camming over the top of the power creep, guys. It's getting to where we really are getting much stronger when we start adding. And I've had so many projectiles before. It really all depends on how the sphere grid evolves, because it's procedural, right? So you can get some really crazy builds going sometimes, and sometimes it just doesn't go into your favor, you know? I've had builds before where I just didn't see any attack speeds come up, and all they wanted to give me is melee type skills on projectile type runs, you know, and vice versa too, you know? So it turns out sometimes it's really hard to get what you want, but saving those spheres and picking the right paths and stuff like that is really where you want to focus. Okay, so we've got increased projectile damage here, and this is shot angle. I think we're okay without that right now, but look at these movement speeds coming up. We definitely want to go that route. Grabbing this attack speed would be good too, but these 2 movement speeds will make it to where our boss fight is just going to be ready. So we have a couple more areas to go through to get that unlocked. Really need to focus on getting a lot of the shards here. Very nice. Very nice. I hope that noise isn't coming through. My air compressor just kicked on outside. It's quite loud, but I think you guys won't hear it. If it is, it'll probably be pretty faint. It's like a machine kicked on, you know? All right, we've got plenty of seconds. This was a pretty long board, so I'm thinking we have enough to get a lot of the light fragments here. Let's get these 2. This will be a pretty big group of them. Also, some builds favor just like hugging the corner and letting things come to you. But being that we have like an AoE, we want that to be in the middle of stuff as much as possible. Okay, we got 2 points. Let's see what we can change this to. Oh, another attack speed. I'm so grateful, man. Increased projectile range, bursting shot. Yeah, this is becoming a very good run, guys. Very good. Oh, and that movement speed. Just that 1 increase is so nice. 1 more and we'll be pretty much good to go for the boss. At some point, you have to pick and choose what brings your power up and what brings your survivability up, and we are definitely to the point to where survivability is much more important than damage, because we're doing a lot. We are doing a lot. I've done much higher runs. Double hit is one of those skills that can get pretty absurd. I think I was doing 800 points of damage per melee attack with a pretty fast weapon on one of the runs. So you can just get into where you like one-shot elites and stuff like that. It gets pretty crazy, man. All right, let's get some of the things that we forgot here. Just a few more. Okay, so we've got 2 points. I think we're gonna go with the increased movement here. And is there anything that we can get? The bursting shot. We wanted the explode, right? I want to make sure I have enough. I want to make sure I have enough of these to get the achievement, and I haven't really tracked how much I got. It would be nice if we could see how many it was by hovering, but we won't know. You know, if we would have a tooltip of how many nodes, and we can look. Let's see, exploding projectile. Let's just search, for instance. Let's get this out of here, and we'll put exploding. So we have 1, 2. Well, actually, these aren't activated. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 activated. Bursting shots or exploding projectiles? Exploding projectile. They're all exploding though. So 1 more exploding. I think we're just gonna get that last one too. Exploding projectiles. And that is... Can we actually get that? No. We would have to go through here first. Okay. I totally thought that was different. I don't think we can get another exploding projectile if because we don't have any points. We could back out of something though with this, just to lower something if we wanted to, just to make sure. So I'll tell you what, this is bursting shot. We don't want to take that away. This is scattering dodge. We don't have that. That's projectile damage. We definitely don't want to remove that. Scattering projectiles. What if we were to take away fragmentation? We have too much damage with that. I don't want to let that go at all. I'm trying to determine what would be best to get rid of. The movement speed I don't want to get rid of either. It has to be at the end of a row, so to speak. So yeah, kind of rough here. I suppose if I did this, I could get rid of a max health with a refund. Yes, yes. So I'm giving up a health, but now I have 2 points to use. And what I'm gonna do is go into where was it? Here. I really want this bursting shot, so we'll change this because we don't want another glaring light. Bleeding swirl, we don't want that either. Additional projectiles seem okay to me. And then we'll get bursting shot. And now we're ready for the boss of the final wave. And it's an iron frost. Okay, let's just be careful. Ouch. Okay, I could have dodged that. Ouch. Could have dodged that too. Got plenty of hearts on the board. And we also have some life drain if we kill enough enemies. But we're doing a good bit of damage here, I have to say. We want to stay close to him so we do as much damage as possible. Okay, we have another heart. We might as well go get that just in case. Yeah, we got him easy, man. Easy. And we got Frozen Plains Tier 1 unlocked on both of these. And you saw one of them was defeat the end boss and one of them was complete the run. So that is the difference between the 2 different achievements. They are separate because, believe it or not, with enough run speed and a little bit of knockback or some extra dodging and stuff, you can literally just like kite the whole time and just hope and pray that a few things die. Because what'll happen is you'll miss a lot of shards, then the elites will continue to spawn and spawn and spawn and spawn, and you're just dodging everything. And if you survive, you'll get to the point to where when you get to level 20, there's no way that you're going to do any sort of damage to the boss. Then you won't beat him. But so unlock all 8 maps, defeat the end boss in the Frozen Plains, and complete all waves. So we could start endless mode right here, or we can go to new run or main menu. If I hit new run, you know, I could have sworn that this was projectiles explode on hit, having 3 exploding projectile skills active. We had that though, right? We had multiple of those, but it did not unlock for us. Huh, I wonder why. Maybe there's something that I overlooked, but we definitely had a bunch of those skills active. We had more than 3 of each, I want to say. Huh, but I'm not sure. But now, when we go to choose map, we can check out that Mountain Peaks is available. And if we go back here, you'll see that on some of the character unlocks, for instance, you have to defeat the end boss on wave 20 in the caves on difficulty tier 2. So in order to unlock this guy, we have to go to the caves, which we haven't even unlocked yet. They're way down here. So to do that, we have to beat this, and that unlocks caves. Then we have to beat the caves map tier 1 in order to unlock map tier 2 and beat tier 2 and the boss in order to get that. So as you can see, it starts piling up. At first, like the first video, I had a bunch of stuff that unlocked for me at once, and sometimes it does kind of you know, it'll cascade into a bunch of unlocks, but unfortunately we didn't get that many unlocks here. But you can go for different things here, like this is reach 100 melee damage. Well, that means that you just have to make a melee run, and it kind of guides you to different things to try. The next character we have to unlock, by the way, is defeat the end boss wave 20 on the Frozen Lands 2 of difficulty tier 2. So that means we have to open up the Frozen Lands, and which we've already did, and now we have to defeat this one. So the next time we come back, we'll try a melee run with the and trying to get our melee damage up to 100 so we can unlock the Elder Club, which has crazy knockback strength but a projectile multiplier as well. And there's some fun synergies we could try, like Boomerang, where you actually swing, you actually throw your melee weapon out, and Trembling Ground. There's so many different things to look forward to, but I'm glad, I hope you guys enjoyed this. For a $5 game, I'm really having fun with it. And if you like survivor type games, guys, you should try this out, definitely. Thanks so much for watching. As always, this is Zueljin signing off, and we'll see you next time.